Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, December 2nd, 2021, Thursday, and it is 3:55 in morning. मैं सूरज सिंह भारत से बोल रहा हूँ. Strictly behind use of certificates, behind use of capability for quality. These certificates, whoever has or one should have, or whatever certificates they have, these have got no meaning if you don't get this. That is called quality system. Quality. And this my nameplate, you can say, is a board fixed on my entry at home. It is Suraj Singh S. FIE, that's Fellow of Institution of Engineers, India, Chartered Engineer. yahoo.co.uk. Telephone number is given here and address is given here. So it is 98106-10718. But please call, give me mail if you want to write to me. Don't give me call. Usually I don't receive calls which are not from known sources. So it is requested that you give me call, give me ID, give me mail. His mail ID is here. You give me, send me mail, and that is Suraj underscore. Don't forget underscore. Engineer ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk. And my name is Suraj Singh. I am Fellow of Institution of Engineers, and of course this is my identification. This is logo of institution, and this is my photograph. So if you are interested to question about quality, about some civil engineering issues, building engineering issues, or some other technical issues or engineering issues, you may call. I also link these videos to LinkedIn as well as to Twitter and to safeindia.org. You can go and see that there. This professional engineer certificate, and this is chartered engineer certificate, and this is fellow membership certificate, and this is quality requirement certificate. These certificates only for reference for you to know facts. So I close these files, and of course issue of quality always is significant for me. मैं हमेशा क्वालिटी की बात करता रहा हूँ और करता रहूँगा, क्योंकि इंजीनियरिंग का मतलब क्वालिटी वर्क से है, ऑर्डिनरी वर्क से नहीं. If engineer has to do ordinary work, then I think engineer is not an engineer, you may say. I cannot call a professional who does not do quality work as engineer or some other professional, because professional means in-depth study of whatever subject you do. In whatever field one works, one has to go to in-depth analysis, in-depth study, and that is known as profession. This is meaning of profession, you can say, advanced study of whatever subject. And if you cannot do advanced study, advanced analysis, and if you don't want to go into depth of subject, then you have no right to be called an engineer. Use of mind is not use of body alone. Use of mind, and engineer means a person who is genius. It's not a question of pride, it's a question of meaning, analytical meaning of article engineer. It is very important that we have to be very good in communication, if not excellent. Without communication, we cannot do anything, we cannot interact with others, It may be in writing or it may be in other mode of transmission, other mode of, you can say whatever medium you use, internet medium or writing medium or meeting or seminar or conference or webinar, whatever you can say, communication and coordination are two tools which every professional uses. Otherwise, you cannot disseminate your information, you cannot equip your mind with others. So, this संचार तथा संतुलन अत्यंत आवश्यक means essential. To an extent possible, it is essential. It's not something we can say, oh, this is added qualification. No, this is a must qualification. And this is a way that you can reach a better system of work, better system of product, or you can say better performance of product. It is very important that as much as possible, written document must be available or must be given as reference. Otherwise, there can be no reliability. It is not good to depend on talks as well as on verbatim. It is very important that we have to have confirmed information in terms of writing or otherwise. लिखित में दस्तावेज आवश्यक है. मोबाइल से लंबी बातचीत का अधिक वो सही नहीं, क्योंकि हम भूल जाते हैं. We are used to forgetting, used to ignoring, and we cannot depend only on mobile use. Okay, mobile use is fine. It should be like comma or interrogation, means for information, for SMS, it's okay. For smart or you can say short talk, it's okay. But if you keep busy on mobile, your concentration is disturbed. It's very important. Concentration on work and concentration to understand specification is a must. A total understanding of defined specifications means is like a technical term, or it gives you complete details of technical requirement. That is called a specification, and we should really understand specifications for application of works. A total understanding of defined specifications is a must to carry out every activity, or else incorrect activity shall be performed. Do you like that you should perform incorrect activity? I think no sane person would do that. Specification is very important terminology here because it is specific. It's not general. Though there are general specifications, but a specification is for application, a specification is for product, a specification for activity, and specifications for every requirement that we work. And particularly in civil engineering construction field, it is very important. It is responsibility of design specifying engineer. I am saying design specifying engineer who gives design, who works on design, who delivers it with requirements. That is called design. Design cannot be only a drawing or only something given else. It cannot only be a plan or elevation or section or BBS. It should clearly define what is to be done, how it is to be done. Means brief requirements in clear terms must be included on drawings, or there may be a drawing giving clear specifications. This is requirement of work. You cannot keep something in abeyance. आपको क्लियर लिख के देना है डिजाइन is incomplete. You have not done your job. completely. Your design is incomplete because you have not specified to that person who is executing on site, who has to who has to do everything on site. But if information is not missing, in that case either that person has to come back to you or that person has to decide itself. Both are not right. If that person has to come to you, means that takes time, it takes communication time, it takes coordination time, and maybe you are not available, somebody else is available, and of course then it affects time of project, which means cost on project. Therefore, it is responsibility at first step, as we say in organization management, that you do whatever work first time right every time. Whatever work we do, we have to do it first time right and every time right. We cannot say first time it was wrong, so this time it is right. That is not acceptable. Do whatever you do right first time with fresh mind. You have nothing. And quality system does not mean hierarchy. Quality system does not mean you have or activities. It should prove and it should lead to production of quality material, quality product. It may be in construction, it may be in production, manufacturing, it may be in services, it may be in education, it may be in society, it may be in individuality. Quality and communication and coordination is gross. If you are not able to communicate qualitatively, if you are not going to be able to work on based on correct coordination, every point, every requirement should lead to same destination. There should be no ambiguity, there should be no silence. Every work you do should be based on certain criteria. And don't forget that quality is required everywhere on construction activity, every construction activity, every part of, you can say, subdisciplines, or you can say whatever operations we do. In that, specifications are very important, and it is specifications that can claim that you have done quality. And engineering is that field, and life is that field. Life cannot move without engineering, and engineering cannot move without quality. All these mean that gone down like engineering has gone down. Quality standards in engineering have completely slumped. हिंदी इज ऑल्सो दे, यू कैन रीड. गुणवत्ता निर्माण में, जीवन में, सेवाओं में, हर कार्य में, शिक्षा में, समाज में, व्यक्ति में उतनी ही आवश्यक है जितना सांसों में है. सुरक्षा बिना सब काम बेकार. और ये सेफ्टी के बारे में, सेफ्टी इज रिक्वायर्ड एवरीवेयर, यू नो इट वेरी वेल. एंड ऑफ कोर्स सेफ्टी फर्स्ट, क्वालिटी मस्ट, आई शुड से. ब्रीच it is engineering community that is responsible for quality achievement. It is in their hands, and it is to be implemented. If it's not implemented, there means there is no one to look after. And it is also very sad that state of quality in every field now is below requirement. You cannot be sure when you buy some item, some material, some product from market that it would work according to your hope, or it shall work according to its requirement. Nobody can be sure nowadays. I don't understand the reason behind that, why it's happening when every organization, every company has been working based on quality system certification. What is meaning of that certification? If product cannot achieve its quality or quality cannot be infilled into product, integrity approach is absent. You can buy product, finishes very good, delivery very good, package is very good, but performance of product I cannot answer. We can say quality has to be complied with, defined, specified, stated requirements within detailed designs, detailed specifications come and should be complied. And there is always variation in requirements. It depends upon specifier. It depends upon person who designs it, what level of quality is required. Quality varies, and we can say if you cannot call it quality, you can call it version, new version, or this version, that version. There may be something in one version, or there may not be something in other version. So, but whatever is there, whatever you say, whatever is claimed for that this product would do that, it should do that. जो भी दावा किया जाएगा कि ये प्रोडक्ट ही काम करेगा, वो उसको करना चाहिए. अगर वो नहीं करता है तो प्रोडक्ट भी ख़राब है, प्रोडक्शन भी ख़राब है, और वो मैन्युफैक्चरर भी ख़राब है, और वो डिज़ाइनर भी ख़राब है, और वो इंजीनियर भी ख़राब है. गंदा विकास होगा चोरों द्वारा, डकैतों द्वारा. क्या अभियंता उनके हाथ के, उन गलत लोगों के हाथ का खिलौना होंगे? इट्स अ बिग क्वेश्चन मार्क. इफ देयर इज डर्टी, detrimental work done by thieves and by robbers, shall engineers be toys in their hands, in their palms? That's a question mark. There can be no future if no quality persists, and its specified requirements must be met in all respects. There can be no excuse granted or admissible for quality failure. You cannot say quality failed because of this reason or that reason. There is no answer as such. If there is reason, then you should not work on that. Why did you work on that? If you thought that there is something wrong in this, you first correct that inefficiency or deficiency. It is engineer, you are not a kid, you are not something which cannot be called responsible. Engineering is responsibility, there is nothing else. If there is a question of responsibility, why should we hire an engineer or employ an engineer, or why should we go for engineering study? Engineering is based on facts and not in imaginations. Engineering is not based, you can say, in poetry. It is based in reality of life. It's question of cost, time, material, everything. We use natural materials in every product. We have no right to abuse this material. So quality is a must, and we cannot say that it's a dust. We cannot call quality is dust, or quality is a must and must and must. No excuse, no excuse, no excuse if it's not done. Engineers have to realize this fact. Quality is essential, it's a must. Engineer means work should be really engineered. You are not working for sale, you are not working for profit. Engineering is a passion, it's a tapasya. Engineering is a kind of faith, it's a kind of requirement. Engineering means nature. It's not salesman. It's not something else. It's not a commercial person. Commerce may be a part of engineering, but engineering is not commerce. Engineering is something that cannot be elaborately defined, because engineering is soul of a person. Engineering is work of a person. Engineering means your soul is put into work. Can you do that? This is no spiritual talk, but it's right. Because without power of soul, engineering cannot be done. Engineering is a determination, engineering is a commitment, engineering is delivery, and engineering relates to your soul in depth. If you can't do that, you're not an engineer. Sometimes I go beyond my scope, but because engineers are related to nature in every act, because we use materials, because we use human resources, all these are related to nature. No material can come without nature. No material. We are all part of nature. There is no material that nature doesn't give us. We refine that, that is different. So engineers must realize quality facts, and in particular civil engineers have to change quality aspects of society or else quality cannot exist. अभियंताओं को क्वालिटी देनी होगी, गुणवत्ता देनी होगी, और विशेष तौर पे सिविल इंजीनियर्स, वास्तु विशारद जो मकान बनाते हैं, सड़क बनाते हैं, एयरपोर्ट बनाते हैं, गंदी नाली भी बनाते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं. Civil engineers have to change quality aspects of society or else quality cannot exist. And those civil engineers who work in structures, in designs of structures, in execution of structures, those engineers are very responsible people because they deliver something which stays for many decades and not for 1 year or 2 years, but whole lifetime, and also whole lifetimes of their kids and their kids. Therefore, this is not electronic world in engineering alone. Electronic world is a support. Structure requires electronic support, but it should move for many decades. Electronic goods cannot work forever. They work for limited time of life. There's a difference. There's a difference that civil engineering work is done for many, many decades, not for 1 year or 2 years. Therefore, it's important what we have to do. Engineer then becomes incapable, which means that engineering and life due to it cannot at all exist because quality cannot exist. सिविल अभियंता वर्ग काफ़ी लिए, किसके लिए उत्तरदायी, नहीं क्वालिटी होने के लिए उत्तरदायी, और दूसरे अभियंता भी उतने ही उत्तरदायी. Engineer is responsible, civil engineer is particularly responsible, and all other engineers are equally responsible. But first attack should go to civil engineer. Why quality is not achieved? I don't believe in others except civil engineers because civil engineers are raw engineers. They use soil, they use aggregate, they use water, they use sun, they use wind, they use every work, and that is very raw work. You can say nothing is available in finished form. Everything is done RCC, except you get steel delivered, steel bars delivered, or you may say plywood delivered, but ultimately 90% job of civil activity depends on natural material. So we should not remove this point from our mind. Designs must be very well done. There is a deficiency in designs, in explanations of what is required. Unfortunate it is. Heavy education, high level of education does not mean to complicate design. Highest level of engineering education means you have to think a lot before issuing your drawings or designs to sight people. You must have a capacity to think how this design shall be implemented, how this design shall be prosecuted. If you cannot understand that point, then you cannot give design. You do not know what is design. Design is not simply issue of drawings. Design means it should be implemented properly without encountering any difficulty by those people who work on site. Therefore, it's a question of designs of structures, very big question. It must be made with best decision, well thought decision. There should be a school of thought that works all time with designer. And designer must have complete knowledge of how this work shall be done. And if designer does not have that knowledge, how this work shall be done, then how can you design on what basis? If you cannot understand that, there should be no problem caused in its work, in its execution. It should be done with safety and it should be done with quality. You cannot cause confusion in minds of foremen, supervisor and engineers on site. You can't cause confusion, but you do. That's why I will say quantitatively must be reliable for prosecution as well as for long-term performance. Contracts must be explicitly clear and competent with having consistencies, pertinent quality issues. And I think there's a question mark here. Why do we not have good contracts? And contracts means technical details, non-technical details, working details, scheme details, all that. It's not simply contract agreement. Contract agreement is first document, but there are so many documents following up contract documents. Quantity can be worked out. Indeed, in quantity survey engineering, we work out all quantities, pertinent all items based on details given by designers, and that quantity cannot be erroneous until some item is missed or incorrect takeoff is done, conducted. There is reliability in quantity, but that quantity must be based on quality. What is given in quality demand, what is given in quality requirement, those requirements can change price of work, can impact time, whatever, but it is process. Quantity quantitatively must be reliable. What should be reliable quantitatively? We can say design. We can say design of structures and others must be made decisive, safe qualitatively, and quantitatively must be reliable for prosecution as well as for long-term performance. Contracts must be explicitly clear and competent with having consistency, pertinent quality issues. अगर हमारे स्पेसिफिकेशंस ठीक नहीं है, हमारी डिटेल्स ठीक नहीं है और हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या ठेके के कागज़ ठीक नहीं है, साफ नहीं, उनमें contracts must be clear in all approaches. Contracts must be clear in all approaches. Good morning, Rajkumar, good morning. Thank you. Contracts must be clear in all approaches. All activities must be taken care of, but it does not happen. Reasons being lethargy in attitude and undue strains in mind. Why should site work suffer because of deficiencies in designs and efficiency in initial requirement? Design accountability must be fixed. If accountability on constructed product or element is required, design and construction qualities are complementary to each other, and without integrated coordination, this cannot be achieved. Activities worked upon shall result in lesser quality results. We have to realize that imagination, and it is based on, you can say, speculation, but speculation is used till it is finally drawn. Therefore, design is a part, you can say, it's a kind of imaginary art as well as technical art as well as engineering art. Design is not simple, it is an imagination. Every designer imagines something, or you can say calculated dream it is, and therefore it has weight factor of accountability, and that accountability designer has to fix itself. I don't say somebody should place this yourself first. Just like we say, do self-evaluation, because design is based on intellect. It's based on high level of intellect. It's not simple. That intellect cannot be earned by everybody. Even if you are a well-qualified person, capacity of design is different. It's not theory of structure. It's not design of structure. That is detailed work. It is first requirement. Like we say feed, it's between feed and real design what you have to do. Just like we say buildings or structures we think of. We have to think of buildings rather than imagination of that structure we are going to do. Be used, we have to talk to that structure ourselves, and we do maybe those people who exclusively depend on software, they may not use that, but self accountability is a must. If if we have to achieve good construction, self accountability, self assumption, and self change, self audit, or you can say self plan, all these must be considered. These parameters are very important because design is directly related to construction, and construction is directly related to design, or you can say design is parent and construction is kid. Parent and child. If parent is not good, child likewise. So feed should be strong. It should be done by some very experienced person. Design should be done by very experienced designers. Design is not kids' game. It impacts on everything. You cannot call yourself a designer if you don't have really experienced on site. At least you should have information if you are not worked on site. What problems can be evaluated? What problems can be anticipated? Can these be solved before it's brought into our mind? How this work shall be constructed? Is our design we are going to submit worth constructible? That's a question mark. If it's not worth constructible, then how can you say it is analytical design? It should. Analysis doesn't mean finding forces in members of a structure. It doesn't mean that. Analysis means it should be well carried out on site without causing any integrated problem, internal problem, coordination problem, or working problem. You cannot explain on site all time. That is main point. Designer doesn't remain present on site while construction goes on. But work of designer speaks. Work of drawings speak. What is to be done, drawings and specification announce, and they require. This means designer is drawing and designer is a specification. Or you can say drawing is designer and specification is you can say designer. Both are same. Design and construction qualities are complementary to each other. You should put your all information into those documents because these documents shall work forever. During maintenance also these shall be used, and if there is some unfortunate investigation on work done, then in that case also these documents would carry weight. I know how to design, I give drawing and let drawings work. Some people think like that, particularly inexperienced persons. They don't understand value of construction and they mispoint that just design is not adequate. If you have gone into in-depth studies on designs and designs you do are excellent one and you are happy that you have given design, of course you should be happy that you have done your job. but your job is one part of work. Second part of work is its construction. If construction is not affected in a professional way or in a way it is required, then design got no meaning. Your excellent design becomes deteriorated one or rubbish one. Do you like to get? There may be whatever reasons. Either designing, you fail to communicate to site person. This means site person shall fill in blank what you left with his mind and spoil requirement. And then after that, you cannot do anything. It's very expensive. In that way, what is required? It is required that there should be a way, at least, to write to as much as possible in a minimum tone, in a minimum requirement, in general way, some state. People do not know method, you know every method, that is true. But what specific we have to do, we have to adopt is important. There may be 4 ways, say, to do something. Now, which way you want to do? You cannot do it in 4 ways, you have to do it in one way. Which one way is best for you? That is what we can say. We are going to adopt this. We call them construction method statements, and it applies in construction, but also method statement applies in life. Method means a kind, people call it system or organization, whatever they call it. For example, you are going to do some other work in society. You say, what way we have to do it? You plan something. Of course, that is not engineering, but common sense. Some people sit and plan and they say, okay, we are going to do this way based on input of opinions by everybody of that kind of method statement. Means a right decision by collection of information from various people, and there of course must be some person who leads it, or you can say that person can be called a kind of coordinator. So once it is decided by those people, those members, what we are going to do, the person implements it, so generally, or you can say less others called coordinator. We can say then method statements must for works implementation, therefore must be charted out professionally, and no concession can be allowed on this activity. No concession once you have agreed. If you don't do this, means your job is not correct, you have not done your job. Method statement, some people call it methodology, I don't call it methodology because there is no logic in that. What logic is there? It's your own system and it is acceptable system. You collected one of many systems and you say, okay, or work procedure for every activity is a must. It should tell formally about what is to be done on works, and that must be done for quality realization, or else there can be no real control on works and therefore on projects. जो भी तरीका आपने लिखा, जो भी तरीका कहेंगे मेथड को, जो भी तरीका आपने लिखा, जो भी कार्य करने का स्टेटमेंट आपने दिया किसी भी कार्य के लिए, वो एक आवश्यक है और ये साफ साफ बताना चाहिए कि काम को किस तरह से करना है और वो होना चाहिए, क्वालिटी मिलनी चाहिए, गुणवत्ता आनी चाहिए, नहीं तो कोई भी नियंत्रण नहीं रह पाएगा, कंट्रोल्स नहीं रह पाएंगे काम के ऊपर। और इसीलिए प्रयोजनाओं के ऊपर out in defined and designed sequence, and because of that output suffers, resulting in bad standards of works produced. अगर आपने सही प्रकार से डिटेल नहीं दी है, सही प्रकार से नहीं समझाया है, या आपने सही प्रकार से काम करने का तरीका नहीं ढूंढा है, तो कोई भी किसी भी तरीके से काम करेगा या नहीं करेगा या गलत करेगा, जिससे जो स्टैंडर्ड्स आप चाहते हैं प्राप्त कर रहे हैं कामों में, वो प्राप्त नहीं होंगे और उसके परिणाम अच्छे नहीं होंगे। इसीलिए मेथड स्टेटमेंट मस्ट बी मेड नेसेसरी फॉर एक्टिविटीज़ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। यही कारण है कि हमको लिखकर स्टेटमेंट देना चाहिए कि काम इस तरह से होना चाहिए। अब वो कौन लिख के देता है, ये निर्भर करता है कि आप किस तरह से कार्य करते हैं, किस तरह से कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं। साइट इंजीनियर या जिसने काम करना है वो भी लिख सकता है अगर वो जानता है, कोई इंजीनियरिंग का आदमी भी लिख सकता है अगर वो जानता है, क्वालिटी का आदमी भी लिख सकता है अगर वो जानता है, निर्माण का काम कंस्ट्रक्शन का आदमी भी लिख सकता है वो जानता है। यह सारे मिलकर एक एग्रीमेंट कर सकते हैं कि हमको ये काम ऐसे करना है, और वो एग्रीमेंट बिठा कर कराने वाले को कोऑर्डिनेटर कहते हैं। कोऑर्डिनेटर, कोऑर्डिनेशन इंजीनियर, हर चीज़ को एक साथ करके एक पॉइंट पे लाने वाला इंजीनियर, और सब पॉइंट्स कंसिडर किए जाएंगे वहाँ पर। Method statements must be made necessary for activities implementation, or else diverse ways can be adopted by even on context inclusive for the item, and we cannot forget that. It's good communication, it's good coordination, that both parameters are required for purpose of doing or for reaching some decision. That's called point of order. This order we have to follow. And the other points are same as we said, but no problem. We will continue this, and now we have to think about what I'm talking of. It's contracts, and I was talking of last time, and reliability is a very important point in that. We cannot just slip from that. And also I can say that we may say that because we have some standard every time, this is quality, and I at this stage was inclined to discuss, I think as we discussed in last time, this was let me say general conditions of contract of state of Qatar. We will discuss yeah, we were somewhere here. I think we're talking of workers, employment wage books, site to be cut, please, clean. Are we talking about that? Supply of plants and materials. Let us see how it works. Wage books, supply of workers. Let us say somewhere contractor. You can remind me what I did. I'm going to, it says materials and workmanship. I should say rather material is very important part on projects. We know that बिना material तो काम नहीं चलेगा। पहली requirement है materials, और ये फिर वही video audio problem, 5 fps only, unfortunately it goes up little, while all materials and work, it's written workmanship, it's very old word workmanship, I should say quality. Well, all materials and respective quality shall be of respective kind, described in contract and in accordance with engineer's instruction, and be subject from time to time to such tests as engineer may direct at place of manufacture or fabrication, or on site, or at all, or any such places. Contractor shall provide such assistance, instruments, machines, workers, and materials such work and quality, weight, or quantity of whatever such material used, and supply samples of materials before incorporation of works for testing as may be selected and required by engineer. वो बिल्कुल सही होना चाहिए, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से हिसाब से होना चाहिए। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कोई खास बात नहीं दी है, उनकी डिटेल्स दी हैं, इसको हमें इस तरह से नहीं लेना चाहिए कि पता नहीं कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में क्या होगा। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में वही होगा तो पता नहीं क्या होगा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में। अरे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बड़ा सामान्य डॉक्यूमेंट है, वेरी वेरी कॉमन स्टेटमेंट, कॉमन डॉक्यूमेंट इट इज। क्या है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, आप सोचिए, कितनी बार बताया है। हुआ नहीं है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, सीधा साधा तरीका है। एक आदमी माल बेच रहा है, एक आदमी माल खरीद रहा है, एक आदमी सामान बेच रहा है, एक सामान खरीद रहा है। पैसा दे के सामान लेना है, पैसा दे के काम कराना, यही तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है ना। क्यों घबरा रहे हैं आप इतना। इंजीनियर्स क्यों दूर भागते हैं कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की दुनिया से, मैं नहीं जानता। और जो इसके बारे में ABCD नहीं जानते वो उसकी दुनिया में आते हैं। ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। जो लोग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के बारे में नहीं जानते हैं वो उसके राजा बनते हैं, और जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिन रात करते हैं वो उससे दूर भागते हैं। बड़े अफसोस की बात है। इट इज इंजीनियर, इट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, इट इज ऑनर, दे डील विथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ठेका है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक एग्रीमेंट है किसी भी वस्तु खरीदने के लिए, किसी भी काम को कराने के लिए। इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है। फिर इतना डर क्यों, क्यों हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को इंजीनियर लोग डर जाते हैं। अरे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता, ये भी गलत है।